Hey peoples, and welcome to Phrozen Gaming. Now with E3 less than a month away, I thought it'd be a good time for me to share what I'm excited to see and what I'm hoping to see at E3 from the big three this year. Like, obviously Nintendo's not actually going to be there, they're doing their video conferencing, which is kind of disappointing, but it's also understandable considering how they've been performing for the past couple of years. They've been losing a lot of money and they probably don't want to be spending money on things they don't have to. So yeah, anyways, let's start off with Microsoft. First up, I'm really excited to see if they will be announcing a Forza Horizon 2 game for Xbox One this year, because last year we got a motorsport game, and from one of the bigwigs in Turn 10 who make Forza Motorsport, he actually mentioned back when Forza Horizon 1 was coming out that, you know, they will be releasing games every other year. So Forza Motorsport released a game last year, so technically we should be getting New Horizon this year, and it has been rumoured to be announced as well, so that's pretty cool. I'm also excited to see if they'll show us some in-game footage of Halo 5, because I'm a big Halo 5 fan, and Halo fan. And I've read some of the books, I've played all of the games and finished all of the games, and I absolutely love the storyline. So I'll be excited to see how the story progresses, even though they won't be showing that in E3. And the other thing I'll be excited to see, but I don't think I'll be actually seeing it at E3 because it's a bit too soon, is a preview to Season 2 of Killer Instinct. Killer Instinct recently got passed on to another development team, because the development team that were making on Season 1, who were Double Helix, got purchased by Amazon, so they can no longer make the game. So it's been passed on to this other development team, which I'm not too sure what the name is, but they made the Dive Kick game, and if I had to base my confidence in them continuing to improve Killer Instinct based on Dive Kick, I would say not a chance in hell. But I have heard some good things from them, from Maximilian on YouTube. He's a YouTuber that religiously follows fighting games, and he's been saying that they have mentioned that they want to continue doing Killer Instinct in the same direction that Double Helix has done, and which is really good. And some of the team from Double Helix have remained to help with development of Killer Instinct, so that's another awesome thing. So hopefully the artwork will still be the same, the soundtracks will be the same, fighting system will still be the same. So yeah, moving on to Sony, I'm excited to see what Uncharted will look like on PS4, considering how well of a job they did on PS3 with Uncharted. Like, they really milked as much performance as they could out of the PS3, and not many games did with the PS3. Most games, especially third-party games, were ported from the Xbox 360 to the PS3, so it didn't really take full advantage of the performance of the PS3 as opposed to first-party developers and second-party developers. And yeah, and I haven't actually played any of the Uncharted games, but I have heard from other people and from people on YouTube that it's a really awesome game, that the visuals are amazing, that the voice acting is done really well, and it's extremely close to like being like a movie while still being a game. So I'm really excited to play that, and hopefully sometime soon I will be actually playing it. Moving on, another game I'm excited to see is The Last of Us being remastered, I believe it is, to the PS4, Xbox, and it'd just be amazing to see again what Naughty Dog can do there to bring it up to the next gen. I'd imagine it's a bit soon to be remastering what's it called, The Last of Us, considering it's not that old of a game, and also considering that the PS3 wasn't really that much of a slouch, so the graphics are substantial on the PS3. But I don't know, I suppose that's up to them to do, and I'm excited to see it and how well they can improve that game. And I'm also excited to see, supposedly it's rumoured that Polyphony are bringing Gran Turismo 6 to PS4, which I was actually quite surprised that they were actually bringing it to the PS3 to start off with, because it came out similar to the release date of the PS4. So as you know, I would have thought they would have tried to push it to be a release title on the PS4, but I believe they did that just to like hold on to as much fan base as they can after what happened with Gran Turismo 5, the constant pushbacks and stuff like that. Like, they still got a fairly large fan base, but they did lose a lot of people, i.e. me, with what happened with Gran Turismo 5, because of how much they kept pushing it back, and when it finally came out, there was no real way to justify how that time had been implemented into that game. Yeah, and that's pretty much it for Sony. So I'm going to move on to Nintendo. I want Nintendo to announce a proper Zelda game on the Wii U. Like, I know there's Wind Waker on there, and Wind Waker's an awesome game, but Wind Waker was a cel-shaded game. Cel-shaded graphics they don't age as much as other graphics do, so there wasn't that much of an improvement that they could make on cel-shaded. I'd like for them to make like a actual Wii U Zelda title, so like a brand new Zelda. Or the other thing I would happily accept is a Majora's Mask remake on Wii U, because I reckon that would be awesome. I love Majora's Mask, I love Ocarina of Time, but Ocarina of Time's already been done on the 3DS. Love Wind Waker, but that's already been done, so there's no point doing it again. It's just surprising that they've skipped Majora's Mask when it comes to remaking more recent Zeldas. Like, they've done Link to the Past to High Hell. Like, Four Swords are based on Link to the Past. The more recent one on 3DS was based on Link to the Past. And then, you got Ocarina of Time on 3DS, and Wind Waker on Wii U. So why can't they make a Majora's Mask remake on the Wii U? I'm pretty sure that would help sell many consoles, because it's a very popular game and everybody pretty much loved it. And the other thing about Nintendo, it's a very strange thing. There's a supposed rumor that they are bringing out a new console and a new DS sort of thing. And although I'm excited to hear about this, I was not excited to hear the other part of that rumor, which is China is the only country that is apparently getting this, since China has lifted their ban of consoles from outside of China being sold inside China. And I'm just going to rattle off some specs of this console. Like, these are rumors, so take it with a grain of salt, and nothing's been confirmed yet. But the actual terminal itself, like the console itself, contains two processors. Both of them are IBM PowerPC based processors. One's an 8-core, codenamed Jumpman, that runs at 2.2 GHz, and the other one's a 3-core that runs at 1.24 GHz, which is codenamed Hammer. Which is kind of understandable. Like, who's done something similar to this? Like, mobile phones do something similar to this, like the Samsung, I can't remember what the name of the core is, but they have like a similar structure where they have two actual processors. One that handles the more background things that are happening in the background, that usually passes on to the smaller processor, and the more higher demanding things go to the 8-core processor. It also contains 4 GB of unified DDR4 RAM, codenamed Kong, and then it also contains 2 GB of DDR3 RAM, codenamed Barrel, which is kind of strange. Like, 4 GB, DDR4 is only a really new technology. Like, PCs haven't even actually come out with it yet. Like, it's been announced. You can see prototype motherboards with DDR4, you can see prototype modules of DDR4 RAM, but it hasn't actually come out to the consumers yet. So this is a big move for Nintendo to do this, and you know, it should possibly pay off, I guess, like performance wise. And its GPU, it seems to have a very solid GPU. I'd say slightly more powerful than the Xbox One and PS3. It's a much more new architecture, more based off the current architecture from what I can see. So performance-wise, it would be it's kind of confusing because you've got the DDR4 RAM, which easily outperforms DDR3, but currently I haven't seen any DDR4 RAM that actually speed-wise goes faster than DDR3. So but it's obviously a new technology, so it's definitely going to jump up and just leave DDR3 behind. And the other thing is it's got 4 gigabytes of it, so it's got less faster memory than the Xbox One. Yeah, that's a bit funny wording. It's got a less amount of a faster performing RAM than the Xbox One, and I would imagine that the DDR4 RAM is running slower than the GDDR5 RAM on the PS4. But the thing is, there's differences between DDR and GDDR, where DDR is a much versatile form of RAM where it can handle a much larger variety of tasks, as opposed to GDDR, which is mainly graphical based tasks. So I really have no idea where this would slide in performance wise, because like pretty much everything else is similar except for that it's got IBM processors as opposed to AMD processors. And it also comes with USB 3, Bluetooth, wireless, and it's got a card reader of some sort. It says cable card reader. I'm not too sure what that is. It can support up to 4 Wii U gamepads or 4 of the new DS's. There's 2 versions that are supposedly come out. There's a disk slot version with 60 gigabytes of internal flash storage, and a 300 gigabyte version with no disk drive. It will supposedly play your Wii U games, 3DS games, and this new format of disk called Fusion Holographic Versatile Disk, which is called HVD for short, which I'd imagine would be similar to HD DVD, like capacity wise. I wouldn't imagine that it's going to be close to Blu-ray. And for comparison, HD DVD was about half the capacity of a single layer Blu-ray disc. It also has a HDMI 2.0 output with 1080p and 4K support. It also supports 7.1 surround sound from Dolby True HD. It has inductive charging surface to charge your Fusion DS's and your Wii remotes. I suppose you'd have to buy an inductive charging Wii remotes. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the console. We'll move on to the handheld device. Its architecture is very similar to a mobile phone, so it's got an ARM Cortex A53 processor, which I'm not too sure performance-wise where that puts it. It has a custom Adreno 420-based AMD GPU, similar to GPUs that you'd find in a mobile again. 3 GB of low-powered DDR3 RAM, which is 2 GB dedicated to the games and 1 GB dedicated to the OS. I don't know why 1 GB needs to be dedicated to handheld gaming device OS, but anyways, it's there for a reason, I'd imagine. It's got a 21.3 centimeter DVGA screen, which is 960 by 640, and it's a touch screen, capacitive touch, which is awesome. Fairly decent sized screen, but the resolution could have been better, but I don't know, I suppose it saves money for them, and it also makes the battery last longer. Speaking of the battery is 3300 milliamp hour battery using lithium ion, so that's a decent sized battery for this device, I'd imagine. And it also, the screen's covered by Gorilla Glass and comes with a magnetic cover of some sort, and it's got similar button array to 3DS, multi-array microphones. It's got a 2.1 megapixel stereo optic cameras similar to the 3DS. It has 3-axis tuning fork gyroscope and 3-axis accelerometer and magnetometer. I'm not too sure what the magnetometer does. Has NFC, has a 3G chip, a GPS locator, Blu-ray, Wi-Fi, 16 gigabytes of internal storage, It supports your 3DS games. It also has support for HD and SDHC, which is the SD cards, holographic enhanced card slot of up to 128 gigabytes. It has a mini USB input and output, and that's pretty much all there is to talk about that. It does sound like a very impressive handheld device, and it also sounded like you could probably remove the OS off there and chuck on an Android. But yeah, it's very interesting, but very disappointing if it's only going to China. Like, I know that the Wii U hasn't been out for that long, but it's not been performing well. But it wouldn't be a good sign to developers if Nintendo was to abandon it like that. So I suppose they don't. That's why we're not currently getting it just yet. Anyways. And the reason that Nintendo want to try and break out into the Chinese market is apparently the amount of gamers there are in China outnumber the entire population of the US, which, it being China, is not quite a surprising fact. But anyways, with that being said, that's pretty much what I'm excited to see at E3 this year. Leave comments down below about what you're excited to see at E3, and I'd love to read them, and you might even make me aware of something I wasn't even aware that's going to happen at E3. So yeah, please do that, and I'll definitely be covering E3 when it happens, mainly the big three. I'm not too sure if I'll cover the publishers. And yeah, until I see you guys next time, thank you so much for watching my video, and stay frosty.